Today, I'm going to show you how to configure a Misa Triwave to sound like this. What makes this demo interesting is the interplay between that bass synth and the snare. The E string's playing a snare and the A and D strings are playing the bass synth. So let's start by deleting the audio tracks. So just the two MIDI tracks are remaining. We'll be using both of these. One of them is for the snare and the other one is for the bass synth. Starting with the snare, we can get this sound really easily with Massive. So I'll drag Massive into the first MIDI track and I'll make sure it's assigned to MIDI channel 1. I'll create a new sound, turn off the first oscillator, and turn the noise amplitude all the way up. Basically, this is pure white noise. On the voicing tab, set it to monophonic, and now the E string should sound like this. So that's the snare done. For the bass synth, we'll add another instance of Massive. So I'll drop it in the track here, and I'll set it to MIDI channel 2. By doing so, it's connected to the A and D strings of the Triwave. I'll also hold Control and click this button to arm both of the tracks so I can record both at the same time. I'm going to set the patch to basement, which is a factory preset. Now, to put more expression into the sound, I'm going to map some controls to the XY pad of the Triwave. First is the waveform control. I'll hit MIDI, click the waveform control, and tap the Triwave's pad until control change 16 appears. Then I'll do the same for the cutoff control. I'll select it and assign it to 16 as well by tapping the pad. Then I can hit MIDI again to exit. By mapping these controls to the XY pad, the sound of the bass will change a lot depending on where I'm tapping while I'm playing. The patch is already monophonic, so I don't need to do anything here, but I'll reduce the glide to 0 and set all the envelope attacks to 0 as well, so that note transitions are as responsive as possible. Whether you want to do this or not really depends on your own playing style and the sound that you're playing. And that's about it. Here's one tip before I go. If you're playing a bass note while pressing the pad, and then you hammer on the snare, you'll hear both sounds play, like this. If you want to silence the bass note when the snare plays, you need to lift your finger off the bass note on the neck and lift your touch off the pad before pressing the snare, like this. Here you can see how I interchange between the two methods. Thanks for watching.